Welcome, friends, to the Monday Manifest.
Hello, everyone. Chaos here. And yeah, I apologize for not having a Monday Manifest last week. Granted, it's Tuesday right now, so this isn't technically coming out on a Monday, but it's fine. It still exists. I just was. That's the whole thing. I always have trouble thinking of what to talk about. Like, there's a million different subjects to talk about, but I also don't want to talk about a subject that I literally have no idea about. Like a couple of the people on my Discord have been like, "Why don't you talk about like the history of games and stuff?" And I'm like, that would take a lot of research, and I don't know. There's already a lot of channels that have a lot of like really cool information on that. I mean, I guess they just want to hear it from me or something, but I don't know. Maybe later on. Like I said, I need to make kind of like a list of things that I could talk about. But what we're going to talk about today, sorry about that, is Valentine's Day. Oh boy. I know it's such a great subject. I'm sure you guys are very excited. Honestly, I don't do anything special on Valentine's Day generally. I mean, now that I stream, I do just purely to have something to do that day because I'm currently not like going out with anyone or anything or courting anyone. So, yeah. The thing is, Valentine's Day is cool and all, but it doesn't like define you as a person if you don't have a significant other. So it's totally fine if you're single. There's nothing wrong with that. Like, there's nothing wrong with being single. There's nothing wrong with being someone. There's nothing wrong with being married. I know a lot of people treat marriage as like basically a prison, but if your marriage feels like a prison, you probably are married to the wrong person. I'm sorry to say. You know, I'm no marriage counselor or anything like that, but generally you should be pretty happy with the person you're with and not have to worry about hating them or the living situation you're in. I mean, a lot of people say it as a joke, and I mean, that's all fine and good and all, but there's literally some people who are like, yeah, this and this happens, and I thought that's normal, and you're just like, no, that's not good at all. Basically, like, Valentine's Day, for the most part, at this point, like any other major holiday, it's a way for companies to milk as much money out of you as they can. Although, your best bet... Sorry, my throat's all gross today. The best thing about Valentine's Day, as with other holidays, is that the day after, all the candy for that specific day is like half off or more. So, save your money. Wait until after it's done, and then you can get a whole bunch of candy, and it'll be fine. But yeah, I mean, honestly, with relationships in general and all that, there's a large stigma on, like, it's pushed on you a lot when you're going through school and high school and all that, because there's so many shows that show, like, the over-romanticized part of high school where you're supposed to be hanging out with your friends forever and doing shit, and also have a girlfriend that you're probably gonna marry later on or some bullshit. Like, that's a lot of fabrication to basically try to get you to buy diamond rings and other expensive things. Like, if you like stuff like that, cool, but for most people, just being around someone else and enjoying time with them and stuff like that is pretty good. That's a pretty good start. Like, I can't say much because I buy people stuff like all the time, but I also like seeing people happy and all that. And sometimes, like, there's not a whole lot I can do. Like, I can't hang out with them in person because they live far away and stuff like that. But god damn, seriously, like, a relationship should not be your first priority in life. Like, your first priority in life should be your own health and happiness, and then working from there. Because one of the big things is, if you're not happy with your life, then you shouldn't introduce someone else to that life, because you're going to want to have somebody there when you're at your happiest, or close to your happiest, you know, when you're on track, when you figured out what you want to do. Because if you don't know what you want to do, and you pull them into that, it's kind of selfish. It's a selfish thing to do, because then you're kind of forcing them to live in a space that you're not comfortable with. So it's just not good. Like, you have to think of the other person. That's the whole thing. Relationships are they're a two-way street. That's two ways. That's a crossroads. but like you both need to understand like each other's wants and stuff like that, and you have to kind of like compromise with stuff, because obviously you want to look for someone with similar interests to you, but like if you find somebody who's like a cookie cutter of you, it's going to be really boring, especially if you don't actually like yourself as much as you think you do, which I think is what happens with a lot of relationships. Like there's the honeymoon period, which is really cool and all, and you love each other and all that, but then after that, like that's when things get rough, because you have to realize that you're going to be with this person for a long time, and you have to deal with all their mannerisms and habits and other things like that. So there's a lot that goes into it, a relationship. It's not just, oh hey, look, I have a girlfriend and we're cool and everything's great. It's like there's a lot of depth to it that people don't seem to understand, or that it doesn't get explained to them, because what you see on TV is just people being happy, just being happy. And it's just like, okay, well, there's more to it, you know. There's gonna be hard times and all that, and that's really where you got to figure out, like, if you really want to be with that person, because guess what? Life is hard. It sucks, but it's definitely a lot easier when you have friends or other people around to help out. Anyways, yeah. So Valentine's Day is, I don't know, like if you celebrate it, cool, but I mean, I really don't. The only thing I'm gonna do is I'm probably gonna play shitty romance games on stream most of the day, just because I enjoy hanging out with you guys and being on stream and doing all sorts of things. I don't think I'll be wearing a dress though. That might be like a donation goal or something like that. I might add like incentives. I will be wearing my beautiful heart apron, which is in the closet right now. I'd go grab it, but I mean, I could go grab it and show it. It's fine. All right. Sorry about that. It was underneath a whole bunch of stuff, but yes, I have a cool heart apron that I used for cooking streams. And it has little heart pockets that are actually kind of useless overall in the scheme of things as pockets go, but you know, it's fine. But yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. But yeah, basically the big takeaway from this is that never feel forced or feel like it's necessary to be in a relationship just to be in a relationship, because that's the worst kind of relationship you can have. You should only have a relationship if you are comfortable with being in one, if you're comfortable with being with the person, if you're comfortable with yourself. I cannot stress enough, that is an incredibly important factor. And one of the reasons why I haven't gotten with anyone in a while, because I'm like, I don't really know like exactly what I'm looking for or what I'm doing, you know. I mean, other than making videos on the internet and also streaming. I mean, there's probably got to be more to stuff, unless I like hit it big and make a bajillion dollars off of it. But that's living the dream, and I mean, that's not something that happens to everybody. So, but yeah, thank you so much for coming to my TED Talk about Valentine's Day. I know this is a fairly short one, but I mean, I don't really have a whole lot more to add on the matter, you know, other than just fucking enjoy your life. If you find somebody else to enjoy it with as well, cool. If it takes a little while, it's fine. That happens. You're not gonna find the perfect person for you, like, immediately. Well, I mean, some people might. It depends. But for the most part, it's gonna take a little bit of searching, because there are so many people. There are so many amazing people on this earth. Sometimes it can be hard to find exactly who you want to be with, but it will happen. Or if you prefer to be single, there's nothing wrong with that. Guess what? It doesn't make you less viable as a person. You are still just as much of a person as the people who've been married for like 30 years, which is also pretty admirable, I gotta say. But yeah, thank you so much for coming in and watching this video. Like I said before, if you guys have any subjects, anything you want me, any just random like game series stuff like that you want me to talk about or look into, or just give my opinion on, just let me know in the comments below. If I played it before, then it'll be a lot easier. If I haven't played it, I'll probably have to figure it out at some point. But yeah, you guys enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you later.